Welcome back to another edition of Under Further Review. In these segments, I'll be talking about each team going into the 2013 season. I'll be talking about last season, the off-season, the draft, positions, and can they make the playoffs. Today on my board, I'll be taking on the Kansas City Chiefs from the AFC West Division. Let's look at what happened last season. Well, they went 2-14 and finished as the worst team in the NFL. Didn't make the playoffs by week 12. Romeo Crennel was fired just after one full season as head coach. Jamaal Charles was just the only thing watching on this team worth watching. And Matt Castle performed terrible until he was injured in week 6. Brady Quinn gets the starting job and tried to win games, but was only able to win one. Not good. The offseason. My goodness, this team was awful last year. 32nd in points and passing offense. Well, Castle's gone, Quinn is gone. I mean, a lot of people were let go this offseason. But the dust has just settled nice and quietly for the stumbling Chiefs as they went and snapped Andy Reid as the head coach. And I like Andy Reid as head coach. I love this guy because he knows what he wants and knows how to get it done. And only three coaches were held over from the 2012 team. So that means a lot of new coaches across the staff are on this squad. So next, they traded second round pick in 2013 and a third round pick in 2014 to get a QB of Alex Smith from the 49ers. And I like this a lot too because it brings exactly what they need for this team, especially someone who can be a solid starter. So and if that's not enough, they also got tackle Eric Fisher and the first pick of the draft. So what seemed to almost be more years in rebuilding is really turning out to be a complete team that has just done a 180 and now seems like they can compete with anyone this season. There's a lot of talented players on this team still, so last year's record really isn't blindsiding me too much. This team looks to be coming back big and strong in a big way. My favorite picks from the draft. I'll pick just one player that I really liked from the Chiefs draft because this team is just loaded with talent. And it's obviously the first pick of the draft, which was Eric Fisher. And there was a need and a good reason the Chiefs got him with the first round draft pick. He's got fast feet, pass blocks very well, and I see this line only getting better as Fisher will start out this season at right tackle, but it can also play a left tackle, so that makes him versatile and the reason why he was the first round pick. Positions. Well, Alex Smith, I thought, played really well in San Francisco last year before losing his starting job to Kaepernick, so it's hard for me to see things really go awry in KC with Andy Reid as a head coach. I mean, Smith is smart and protects the ball, so that means no turnovers like last year, KC fans. Whoopee! Well, that's the idea, but we'll see. Backing him up will be Chase Daniel, who has a $10 million contract. That's weird. But good for him, I guess. Running backs. The MVP on the Chiefs is Jamaal Charles. This man is just explosive when he runs. And it's really amazing that he's coming back from this ACL injury and playing the way that he's playing. He ran for 1,509 yards, 5 touchdowns, and was averaging 5.3 yards a carry. You know what's else scary is that Charles is going to be implemented in this pass offense more, so I can see him soaring past his numbers this season. I'm excited to see what this man will do. They also grabbed 3 fullbacks this year, which is kind of odd, but Andy Reid likes fullbacks, in Ryan D'Ampero, Anthony Sherman, and Braden Wilson. Wonder what this could be. Wide receivers. Dwayne Bowe has become a little of a disappointment, but he is obviously the best wide receiver the Chiefs have. He's the clear number 1 and should have a better year prior to the last 2 that he's had. Questions are in the air about the second spot guy, though. John Baldwin and Donnie Avery will be battling for that spot, but they have had issues. I mean, Avery's kind of has butterfingers, and Baldwin has just been a gifted talent of disappointments. So, someone needs to step up. I like the tight ends more than the receivers in this group because Tony Maoki, Anthony Fasano, and third-round pick Travis Kelce. Reid loves tight ends also, so I expect a lot out of them and to be used a lot to maybe even help out the receiving corps. Offensive line. Even though Charles rushed over 1,500 yards, this line deserves very little credit for it. This line isn't that great. Brandon Albert will start at left tackle, but may be nearing the end of his career at KC due to him being tagged as the franchise player and being a guaranteed $9.8 million salary on this year. So that's going to probably get fixed within the next couple of years by letting him go. Rodney Hudson should be coming back to health and starting at center, and John Asamoah is getting better every season. Eric Fisher will obviously start at right tackle, and Jeff Allen seemed to struggle horribly all last season. This line needs to get better ASAP. Defensive line. Now, nose tackle DeAndre Poe was solid last year, and I liked watching him play on the line. On the ends, you have Mike DeVito, who's coming from the Jets, and Tyson Jackson. They play a 3-4, so I'm guessing DeVito could really be the helper on this line to help the rush to QB. Other than them, though, they really are thin like the wide receivers for the line. They need these players to be the motors on the field and get the rush from the ends. Linebackers. Well, with the subpar line, don't even worry about it. Let's see. Tom Bahali, Pro Bowler. Justin Houston, Pro Bowler. Derek Johnson, Pro Bowler. And now they've drafted Nico Johnson from the Crimson Tide, who's coming back from a national title, and probably the best linebacker on that team. That's your starting four for your linebackers. There is just nothing but plus signs I see here. Man, talk about KC getting a four-of-a-kind on the linebackers like at a poker table. They are really stout here, and hopefully these guys can all stay healthy. Secondary. Along with a great linebacking corps, the secondary seems to be stacked also, with corners Brandon Flowers, Dunta Robinson, and Sean Smith, and safety Eric Berry. Kendrick Lewis, though, is in the make-it-or-break-it year for himself, so at free safety, due to his inability to stay healthy, that's probably the only thing really that's going to have to keep my eye on them for this year. Other than that, I'm really excited to see how this defense will come together for the Chiefs. Lots of talent here, and would be very disappointing to see them not perform. Special teams. Dustin Goldquit is the highest paid punter in the NFL history, and there's a good reason why. Kicks the ball to give defense a great position on the field. That's all you need from your punter. Kicker Ryan Succop is solid, but he kind of finished ugly last year, so he needs to just be more consistent. And returners will be either McCluster, Avery, or Devon Wiley. Can they make the playoffs? I'm going to say yes, they can make the playoffs, and here's why. First, they got a lot of talent on this team, a bunch of talent on this team. There are 6 Pro Bowlers on this team, and then they have Andy Reid, who's going to probably utilize everyone to succeed on this team. So, Andy Reid didn't come here to rebuild, he came here to win, and that's what I think he can do and will do this year. He hasn't won the Super Bowl as head coach, but if there's one thing about Reid I like is that he's more than likely to be in the playoff hunt come December because he just knows how to win. He holds a 10-9 record in the postseason, so, that's pretty good. The other thing I like about the Chiefs is that they have a QB that is ready to go and can lead a team. I thought the trade for Alex Smith was fantastic and a perfect piece to help the worst team in the league last year. As I look at their schedule, they have a schedule that favors them a whole bunch too. And they get a bye week at week 10, which will be much needed by that time. So, their chances to make the playoffs are not really far-fetched here. All they need to do is win now. Take the talent that you have and use it to make a winning formula because the pieces are there for the Chiefs. Everything has been addressed. Just win, baby. Now, I'll be scratching my head on this one if the Chiefs are not contenders in the league, especially without a playoff spot. So I say, buckle up, KC fans, because this is going to be a really interesting team to watch this season that I will definitely have my eye on. Good luck to you guys. And with that, my football fans, ends my segment on the Kansas City Chiefs. I hope you enjoyed it. Please leave any comments below and subscribe to my page. The next team I'll be taking on will be the Oakland Raiders. So, I will see you later and come back for the Oakland Raiders.